Hello, this is Julie Jarvis from the office of the founder of Vancouver. We have a special guest today. This is Doug Grady. He's come to the office and share what are you sharing about
Who am I talking to?
This is a recording.
Oh, this is a recording. Great. What? Wow.
Yeah. We're doing a lot of virtual training.
Wonders of modern technology.
Yeah.
Will they be tuning into the workshop today?
Yeah. 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 Yeah, and it's going to be for them.
I was going to ask you that. Are people allowed to record?
Sure.
I was going to just start registering and
Okay.
I won't post it online.
Sure, that's fine. Good with that. Oh, so today's topic is called 4 levels of integrity. 4 very specific ways in which integrity happens. When you say something, does it happen? Some of the stuff that gets in the way, and how we can be who we say we are.
How can I help you? Here, we've got Elmo. Do you want Elmo or not?
I don't know.
Elmo is like
No, I don't need.
you don't need this. Okay.
I need a chair and this.
Where will you be standing there?
I'll need some sort of
Yeah, we can get your seat. You prefer
here or there.
we got a
Where are you from?
chair like that.
I'm Sam.
Yeah. Is that your good
I was
skin tone?
that'll be great.
Okay.
I'm from Atlanta, or live in Atlanta.
Oh.
I've been back and forth between Atlanta and Southern California for 20 years.
Yeah, because that's your permanent skin tone.
The White Rock at least for 3 days.
Oh,
It is 2 days with sun. I may have got
and you play
Fernando.
no, I was going to say tabla, but
Do you want to be in front of the table or do you want to be behind it? We can move it
I'll be in front. We can move
Okay,
it back a
what
little
if
bit.
yeah.
we move the table back?
Put them in front.
We can move the chairs back a little bit so it's not so, but we might get rid of this road.
Okay, let's do that.
Is that okay? All right.
We got it. Okay. There we have someone from Ontario. Showing up.
What else? Want
That's
some
it.
water?
Good. More would be great.
Ready today.
Yeah, we're just getting him set up.
Okay.
Everybody's just sort of coming back from their lunch, I guess. Everyone was in class, now they're all like running to McDonald's. I think that's good, right?
I was working on Rotary, or I started to log into my WFG, and then I got onto Rotary and was finishing up some stuff with Rotary, and I was so excited coming home today that I wanted to get at some of my life license, and I haven't yet. Then Mike was budding, so I figured get at it then. Mike was working on the basement.
Everybody who's ready,
No, I was just
That's crazy. Okay, here. Here we are.
yeah, Moody Beauty.
I saw you, was it you and David on the bike?
You can see that pretty good, right?
See online?
On Facebook? Yeah, you were on your Facebook page. Yeah. You look very serious. Yeah.
Recording, Julie?
Yeah, we're doing it.
Recording it?
I'm doing it here. I wrote the stuff other song.
Oh, yeah?
What is it? Amazing.
I just want out. I want to kill it. I want to kill it.
Hey, grab some chairs.
Too much. And today I was reaching down to
I feel like I'm coming home. No, well, I mean, business-wise.
I'm just going around like
Did we get any more? It is.
And then we'll play it back later.
It's unlisted, so it's not. It is.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Do your broadcast. Did you record?
Hi,
Ray is coming.
Are you recording? No.
Yes, I love it. I'm like the
Yeah, I live in Atlanta.
I've never been on video. He's so sweet. And it was one of my friends. And he spoke about how he went and started the whole foundation. And the first place from my mom, and this is one of our close friends. So I was the only one there, and he shared about how he went and first place he went was Sakawa, and so right there I thought, everyone loves Sakawa.
This is part of my run. So you can see how my heart rate is.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do a lot of things like that, and one of my goals, I think I'm gonna get started because I've only got yeah. I do, yeah, a lot. Anywhere, yeah.
Come here,
I don't know where you are.
I haven't got one.
What?
Yeah, I have no idea. I've actually asked one.
Okay, we're
gonna get started.
You can say all that.
Welcome. Welcome everybody here today. I know you've been hard at work with the training this morning. If you had joined our business presentation meeting, we've got LLQP boot camp today. Who's in the LLQP boot camp starting at 2? Awesome. Well, we learn a lot coming into WFG, but one of the things we definitely learn is that without applying that knowledge and without applying what we learn, without taking action, we're not going to be able to reach our own personal best. And we do a lot of training within WFG around how to reach your personal best. But I think it's really interesting when we can have someone come to our office that's not from WFG and see their take on what it means to reach your personal potential. So whether you're here as part of WFG, whether you're in another role in your life, I've got my husband David here. We have a few guests here today that aren't with WFG but realize or recognize that the secret to success in life lies in making yourself grow and being a better person so you have more to offer. And I'm very pleased today to offer the opportunity to hear from a very special guest speaker I'm going to introduce Doug Grady. Please give a welcome hand for Doug Grady. So Doug found me online, and we just connected through a conversation. Doug has a very amazing resume. First of all, he's written a book, okay, The Ripple Effect, and I got a copy, so I will be sharing this around afterwards. But more importantly, he has been teaching people how to reach their personal best, so achieve pathways to personal potential for over 20 years as a professional speaker, musician, and president of High Achievers. So I have some information he's going to be sharing a little bit about his company, High Achievers. For over 20 years, not only writing the book, The Ripple Effect, but through other companies, writing, trainings, and music, all to help people with one purpose in mind, which is to reach your God-given potential. So if that sounds like a great thing to learn about, we get 1 hour with Doug Grady. I can tell you, if you want to have more time with Doug Grady, there are ways to do that, and he's going to share with us at the end how we can consult with him further. But a lot of people in Vancouver are going to have to be paying over $600 to go and hear him speak at the Success Summit in April. But because we are meeting him here, we get an hour free and a discount if we want to get more training with him. But let's enjoy him for the next hour. Please give him your full attention and WFG respect, and help me welcome Mr. Doug Grady.
Very warm and welcoming introduction. Every time I'm introduced, it's a little different. My first introduction was in Atlanta, Georgia, over 20 years ago, and it was a group about this size. The leader came out and he had a very stern look on his face, and he said, "Now, as you all know, we're coming off our worst month ever. Here's Doug." My introduction is much warmer and gentler than you all. It really feels like a homecoming for me because my background happens to be in this industry. In fact, my first position right after college was with Aegon Corporation. This was a long time ago. And initially, I was not what you would refer to in the WFG world as a top producer. In fact, I had no money when I started, and roughly 6 months later, I had less money than when I started, and I had a conversation with my manager at the time, similar position to Allison's position here, and his name is James, and I said to James, I said, "I just don't think I'm cut out for this business." And he said, "Yeah." I said, "I think I'm going to quit." He said, "Okay." I said to James, "I know it sounds funny, but I just can't stand the pain. I'm making sales tomorrow. Seems to me, I've done all I can. My feelings don't let me borrow. Why I'm making sales Tuesday morning. I said I'm leaving. I'm making sales Tuesday morning. Find the world only one life for me. They won't do what I tell them. Everybody wants me to give it to them for free. And I have to look about to sell them. Why I'm leaving sales Tuesday morning. I said I'm leaving sales Tuesday morning. I don't want to sell nothing. I just sold my house, my car, and my wife's ring. That's it. Quit. I'm leaving sales Tuesday morning. I said I'm leaving sales Tuesday morning. It really was a close call, and I want to, if you're going through a close call right now, or maybe you have had a close call in the past, you're not really sure what direction you're going, there can be real growth opportunities there. And I had a second conversation with James and said, James, I am going to quit, but first I'm going to set a record for this company. He said, whatever, dude, just get back to work. And about that time, somebody recommended my very first motivational seminar. Do any of you remember your very first motivational seminar? One person. Is this your very first motivational seminar? Maybe it was, who was it? Do you remember?
It only went by one name, Elan.
A lot. Wow, that's
Yeah.
very
He was
interesting.
from Florida, and my company brought him in to motivate the entire company.
Okay.
Yeah, and I remember the one he says, "What you don't know, what you don't know, you don't know."
You don't know, you don't know, you don't know. Yeah. Well, so it was Alon for Allison, for maybe it was a teacher, maybe a book, maybe a mentor. For those of you who are athletes, maybe a coach. For me, it was a man named Brian Tracy, a Canadian man actually, and I went to his seminar and I read a particular book. The book is one undoubtedly some of you have heard of. It's called Think and Grow Rich. And about 3 months after I made this declaration, I actually did set a record for the company. I wrote 18 life apps in a week. Is that still pretty good in this business? This was a long time ago. Business has changed quite a bit. 25 years ago, that was a record for our division. And James came up to me the next day and said, are you going to quit now? I said, I'm good now. I like it here. And when you cross over this line between where you are and where you can be, life becomes very different. Not just in business, but your experience of life for the people that you lead, that you love, that you serve. And this was one of those moments. And I used to always say to myself, you know, it must have been that seminar that did it to me. It must have been that speaker or that book. But truly, no matter how great a speaker is, or a book is, or a leader, or an organization, can anybody really do it to you? No. Nobody can do it to you without your permission, without your participation, without some level of choice, some level of commitment on your part. And so today, I would like to be about one thing, about a commitment on your part. All the rest is just entertainment and education. So you make choices that can impact the course of your life, not just for your work, but in every area. So today is really a challenge for you to look at one simple choice that can change the course of your life. For me, this became very evident roughly 5-6 years ago. I was struggling in just about every significant area of my life. I'll spare you the ugly details, but I was physically in perhaps the worst shape of my life. I was mentally dull, emotionally somewhat unstable. I had a company that was hemorrhaging money. I was heavily in debt. And then on a personal side, I was drinking excessively, and I had a very bad attitude. This was on a pretty good day. and look, I had been to all the seminars. Heck, I had led the seminar. I've had the chance over the last 20 years to share the stage with some of my heroes, specifically Brian Tracy and Les Brown and Jim Rohn and Jeffrey Gitomer. Some of these guys, it was not lack of knowledge. It wasn't lack of resources. It wasn't lack of education. Something was just off at my core. Now, when men, at least men in our Western civilization, when they have a midlife crisis, typically men do a couple of things. What do men typically do when they have a midlife crisis?
Buy a fast car.
They get a fast car. And what else?
Find a young woman.
A younger woman. Fast car, fast woman. Now, I've been asking this question for about a year now. And just about every time I ask this question, people say fast car, younger woman. Until about a week ago, I asked this question in front of 70 Canadians, and I said, what do men in Canada do when they have a midlife crisis? Someone on the front row jumps up and he said, they go kill a bear. I had never had that answer, but it might be the funniest answer I ever got. Now, whether it's kill a bear or find a woman or find a car, you know what all these things have in common? They require money. I did not have any money, so my breakdown took a very different form. I was sitting at my home office, which was nothing more than a table on the side of a kitchen. Look, I was 4.5 months behind on my rent. I put my head down, I threw my hands up, and I just said, God, I give up. I cannot do this anymore. Just tell me what to do, and I'll do it. And I meant it. Now, some of my best friends at the time, there are people in your life that mean well, but don't always have your best interest in mind. And people in my life would say to me, yo, man, you should just go get a job. Anybody ever tell you that in this industry? You know, this was my chosen profession at that time for 15 years. And my friends were saying, yo, man, just go get a job. I mean, it felt like a kick in the stomach. But I put that on the line. I said, look, if I need to get a job, I'll do it. Just tell me what to do, and I'll do it. I don't know that I've ever gotten such an immediate answer to a request and ask for help. Many times our resources are literally one ask away. The room didn't shake. I didn't see any visions. I didn't hear any voices in my head. I do sometimes hear voices in my head. I'm sure there are always divine voices, but I just became clear on a couple of things. And these moments of clarity, you must pay attention. The two things I became clear on is, number one, that I have been given much as a man. I started taking inventory of the gifts of my life. If you want to grow in any area, start by looking at what could you be grateful for. And for me, I looked at the people in my life, people that loved me, my family, my friends, people I could count on, people who had my back, resources that were literally a computer away or a phone call away, skills I developed throughout the years that I wasn't really using. Even the education I received, I could look at as a gift. Where I was born, I've been on my first mission trip about 3 weeks earlier with my church, and I got to see how some of the rest of the world lives. I truly did have negative money, but I still had more money in my pocket than some of these families would see the entire year. And so talk about perspective. They didn't choose to be born there, just like I didn't choose to be born where I was born. That was a gift. By contrast, I was putting in very little. Now, this is a gut check for you. How do you want to play this year? How do you want to show up? I would show up. I wasn't stagnant. I wasn't sitting on the couch every day watching Gary Springer and drinking beer. I did this every once in a while. But I did not do it every day. I would go to meetings. I'd pick up the phone. I would put on a pretty face. I'd go through the motions. But below the surface, I wasn't fully engaged. So my father used to tell me a story about a man preaching in a mental institution, and he stood up and he said, now, why are we all here? And somebody said, because we're not all there. Have you ever been there? But you're not all there. You're just going through the motions. And look, when you've had some success in your life, this can be a trap, because success oftentimes breeds comfort. And so you show up comfortably, and you can get some results comfortably. You can go through the motions comfortably, and stuff will happen. But sooner or later, if you're not fully engaged, you'll miss some of those close calls, and you might just get whacked right upside of your head. And this was one of those times for me, and life changed for me in one moment. I just said, look, I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm going all in for 4.5 months. The project I was working on, I said, I know I'm not all in. I'm going all in. I put it all. It kind of felt like, it almost felt like, any of you play poker in here? Just play a little poker music. It's not illegal in Canada, right? Yeah. Nobody else plays poker. I can't believe it. A couple. Okay, now we have enough for a full table. So you sir in the back, what is your name? Simon. So Simon, please, you're familiar with the term all in. So please explain to the non-poker community, what does it mean to go all in? What can happen when you go all in?
When you go all in, other people they have to match you or whatever for yourself. You basically put all the money that you have on the line. You either win it and get everything, or you lose and you walk.
yeah. So this is a very good description. So what Simon is saying here is everything that you have. I've got some American money, some Canadian money in here. Everything you have to literally put it on the table. You have to let go of it. And technically, it's no longer yours. It is fully committed. And one of two things can happen. You get this plus a whole lot more, or the flip side is what? You lose everything. And this can be extremely scary. And this same fear is what grips us when we consider going all in with WFG. When you consider going all in with your recruiting, when you consider going all in with your product development, when you go all in with your personal development, when you go all in with your business development, look, it's the same thing. We go all in, it feels like, what could happen? We could lose everything. And when you gamble, usually there's always something that can beat you. You can lose everything. You play cards or you play slots, you can lose it all. But when you go all in with this business, there is perhaps no business in the last 25 years of my experience in business that I'm more familiar with than your business. When you go on in this business, you cannot lose it all. It's impossible. One of three things will happen. You fully commit. One of three things will happen. One is you will learn stuff about yourself that you never will learn when you're not all in, when you're not fully committed. You'll learn stuff about life, about love, about leadership, about business that you cannot learn when you're even 90 or 95% of the way in. That extra 5% makes all the difference in your learning. The second thing is you'll get results that you never would get otherwise when you fully commit. What does this mean exactly? It means people will buy from you when you're committed. They won't buy from you when you're wishy-washy. They won't buy from you when you're halfway in. People will join your team. They won't join your team when you're not fully committed. It doesn't mean that you work more hours. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. It doesn't mean that you make more phone calls. It means that when you show up committed, you attract committed people. Does this make sense to you? Yeah. You probably heard this study that 93% of our communication is nonverbal. Have you heard this? Yeah. So what happens in your body when you're committed? Do you have a different feeling in your body when you're committed? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, when you're showing up committed, you attract what you are. People will buy from you simply because you're committed. You'll be able to point to specific results that happened this year that never would happen otherwise because you're committed. Third thing, this is the one I find to be most reassuring. You may look back at this year, and maybe you do fall a little bit short. Maybe you don't quite make it. But here's the beauty. It won't be for lack of commitment. Have you ever looked back at a sales contest? I know you have some great ones. You ever look back at a recruiting contest or a business opportunity or even a relationship? And if you're truly honest with yourself, you know you weren't committed. You know that you could have been more fully engaged. And you just wonder. I wonder what would have happened if I was committed. It's one of the worst feelings, I think, that we have. You never have to wonder what if. You never have to wonder what if. I talked to a man about 4 days ago. He's had a big investment group he had me come in and speak to. And a very successful investor, about 30, 40 people in there. And he talked about his personal development. He put it really interestingly. He said, I don't look at if I want to do a seminar, if I want to do a training. He says, I look at three things. I look at, is it going to help me become the man I want to be? Is it going to help me to enjoy the lifestyle I want to enjoy? Is it going to help me to create the results that I want to create? This is a very different filter than saying, do I want to go to a training seminar? Do I want to read this book? Do I want to show up to this meeting? It's not about what you want. It's about your commitment and what experience of life you want to have. When you go all in, you may fall a little bit short. Now, here's this same man. This same man said in 10 years, he's committed to have a $4 million home. Now, what happens if he falls a little bit short of a $4 million home?
My condo in Vancouver.
It's still a $3.5 million home is still pretty nice, right? If you fall a little bit short, you still got something extraordinary. When you don't commit, chances are you're just hanging out in the background. So what I'd like to share with you today, I'm going to begin with a question, and I'm going to end with the same question, and give you a tool that you can use in any discipline that you take on. So the question is this: what are you not doing? But if you did it every day for 40 consecutive days, would impact your life. When I was asked this question, the answer I came up with had nothing to do, at least nothing on the surface, nothing to do with sales or business or debt reduction or any of that stuff. I took on physical exercise. What ended up being 78 days in a row. It was 30 minutes per day was my minimum. And through the course of this commitment, I got to see very specifically what was missing in my life. It's the same thing that's missing in any of your lives when you're not functioning at your personal best. It's one word, and this word is called integrity. I'm going to give you a simple definition of this word integrity. Taking moral implications out, political implications out. Very simply, integrity is doing what you say you're going to do, when you say you're going to do it, whether you like it or not. If you want to get a little bit deeper, it's being the person, being the woman, being the man that you say you are consistently. So when we say X, does X happen or does something get in the way? I want to share with you what I call 4 levels of integrity straight out of this book. And it's a simple tool that you can use in any discipline, any personal development, any professional development you take on this year. Level 1 integrity is called the carrot and the stick. Everything we do in life, we do to gain pleasure or move away from what? Yeah, and move away from pain. Most of us will do more for one than the other. Maybe there is a correct answer here. Most will do more, David, to avoid pain than they will to gain pleasure. That's why most people don't grow when they're comfortable. You got to sometimes force yourself to get out of your comfort zone, or sooner or later life might do that for you. So the carrot on the one side, if I exercise every day for 30 consecutive days, I got a reward. It was a nice dinner with an important person in my life. I chose what the reward was. If I didn't exercise one day, it would cost me something. I put some money on the line because this was very scarce in my life at the time. If you have a lot of money, you might put more money on the line or put money toward the political party you oppose. Maybe a cold shower or something that just, is something you don't want to do. So this works fairly effectively for a short period of time. How many have children in here? All right, so when you have someone said this is called parenting. You have incentives on one side, right? And there's consequences on the other side. Now, no matter how great the incentives are, do they work forever, Allison? No. They don't work forever with you and I either. And so this is a short-term sort of forced structure. I found that this worked for me for roughly 6.5 days. On day 7, I was coming back from a very long day, an 18-hour day. I hit the door of my apartment at approximately 11:01 p.m. So if you're doing some math here, I now have 59 minutes left in the day to exercise for 30 minutes or not. And that little voice inside my head started talking. Do any of you know that voice? The one that lets you off the hook. What does your little voice say?
I do it tomorrow. I'll do an hour tomorrow.
I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I'm tired today. Who else has that voice? What does it say? What does yours say? Anybody?
It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah. Sometimes the diva comes out, right? I don't deserve this. I deserve better. I'm still sore from yesterday. I should probably recover for one more day. It sounds so wise and so noble sometimes, but all it is, at the end of that voice, it's like a train. At the end of that voice, what it does is it just lets you lie to yourself. I'll speak for myself. It made it okay for me not to do who said. What I said I would do. And no matter how clever or interesting or noble or regal that voice sounds, it's just making you a liar. So here I want to share with you a different voice. This one came from my father. These are the most quoted words from my book, and I had nothing to do with them except being on the receiving end when I did not want to do something in my youth, those so-called character-building activities. Like go clean your room, eat some vegetables, go chop some wood. Did any of you have to chop wood as a child in there? I'm the only one? Wow. And I would give those excuses. What are the excuses that your kids give you when they don't want to do something? I'm too tired, I'll do it later. What is it? I have to study. That's a pretty good one. I have to study. I'm too tired. I don't feel like it. I've got plans. Dad would say these 3 words. Those 3 words were do it anyway. And I hated those words because there's no arguing with do it anyway. And really there's no arguing with your word. I mean, it's just a yes or no scenario. It's, are you going to do what you said you would do? Integrity has nothing to do with the weather. It has nothing to do with how you feel. It has nothing to do with the time of day or what happened yesterday or what will happen tomorrow. There's only one question. Are you going to do what you said you would do? So using these words as a mantra, I got literally on the floor of my apartment. And I went through some movements and some motions some people might consider to be exercise. Did some push-ups or some sit-ups and some stretching. There was nothing pretty about it. There was nothing pleasant about it. There were probably some bad words involved. But at least at least after 30 minutes in 0.01 seconds, at least I can say what? I did it. And when you can say you did it, especially when you don't feel like it, when you don't want to, when the weather's bad, when it's raining outside, when the kids are screaming, and you still get yourself to do it, this is where integrity begins. The stuff will happen that would never happen otherwise when you do it anyway. Through the course of this turnaround, I took on many other minimum standards. I raised the standards in many areas, one of which was phone calls. On my phone calls, I was making 3 to 5 calls on a good day. I raised that minimum standard to 30 outbound prospecting calls per day. Every day, every business day. Now, I'm going to share with you how this do it anyway saved me in some very challenging times. I'll get to the end of the day, and it would be, 4:30, 4:40. My business day typically ends around 5:30 or 6, and I still have about 9 calls to make. So I would go into the database, and I would find 9 people that I was pretty sure and pretty hopeful would not answer the phone that day. At least I could say what? At least I could say I did it. Because the commitment was 30 outbound phone calls. Now, and not every day, but inevitably some of these days, what do you think happens? Somebody answers. Allison, I was hoping to leave you a message. And these are days that stuff happens that just never would happen otherwise. One of those days I just called a friend of mine from college that I hadn't, is one of these guys, I'm going to put this guy on the call. He's going to be my prospect today. So I called this guy's named Stuart. Went to college with him. He was one of these people that every time he saw me speak, he'd say, look, I really like what you're doing. I want to support you. I really want to help you. And never did anything to help me until this day. I didn't expect him to answer the phone. He answered the phone. I said, Stuart, you've been telling me for 2 years that you want to help me. I need your help. I need to speak with people in this particular position, teams of 20 or more people. He said, hold on a minute. He put his sales manager on the phone. This man went through his entire database. He gave me 30 qualified prospects to start calling with his personal introduction. The most referrals I've ever received, ever. And that was from a call, from a do-it-anyway call. I didn't feel like it. I didn't want to find one more person to call. He's probably not going to answer the phone anyway. It becomes very clear that, look, results don't happen out of inspiration. Results don't happen out of motivation. In fact, you can create great results with a bad attitude. Did you know that? This goes against every motivational seminar you've probably ever been to. But it doesn't take a motivational seminar to get results in your life. You know what it takes? It takes a choice. It takes picking up a phone. It takes putting your fingers on this phone, allowing the phone to ring. And if somebody does answer, not being an idiot. That's what it takes to book a meeting that can change the course of your life forever. And this has nothing to do with motivation. It has nothing to do with inspiration. This has to do with choice. Choice is available to you when? Always. It has nothing to do with yesterday or tomorrow. You can make a choice right now that can change the course of your life forever. Now, it is very challenging. It can be challenging to maintain this level, too, over a long period of time. There's a struggle between, I said I would, but I don't feel like it. It's constant, like, yeah, but scenario. This is where level 3 comes in. Level 3 integrity, I call this lifestyle integrity. Lifestyle integrity is when your discipline, your choices, they simply become, I sometimes call this the green, eggs, and ham level of integrity. If you all heard of this book, Dr. Seuss, Green, Eggs, and Ham. I will not eat them in a box. I will not eat them with a fox. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them. Nobody Sam I am. Yeah. What does he find out at the end of the book? He actually likes green eggs and ham. Yeah. So this is a beautiful metaphor for discipline. After you do it for a while, it can become more enjoyable, more natural, more of a self-expression. If the choices are consistent with the person you want to grow into become, the person you see yourself as, consistent for the people you want to impact in your life, it will become more natural, become more just more of a self-expression, and may actually become fun. This was the day I left the gym, and look, it didn't happen immediately, but maybe 3 weeks in, maybe 4 weeks, I left the gym one day and I said to myself, wow, that wasn't too bad today. I mean, I kind of liked that. I think that was kind of fun. I don't always like going to the gym. I like leaving the gym. After I've done something that's impacted me in a positive way. You may not like going to seminars, but guess what? You're going to love leaving the seminar because you just did something that can impact your life in many ways. So this is level 3 integrity. In sports, they sometimes call, we've got a couple of triathletes in here, they call this runner's high. Who in here has ever experienced runner's high? David, what's that like when you experience runner's high?
It's a drug.
It's like a drug. Yeah.
Not a drug, but it does feel, it does feel you feel lightheaded, you feel euphoric. You feel like you can conquer anything for your mind too.
Yeah, in sports they call it, in sports in general, they call it sometimes being in the zone. And in psychology, they'll call it being in a state of flow. It's where you are just naturally showing up and attracting the experience of life that you want to attract. Does this ever happen to anybody here? Would it be nice to have this happen this year? Well, guess what? This is the way to get to level 3 is through level 2. When you do it anyway, when you consistently do it, when you don't feel like it, you'll lead yourself into this level 3 experience, this level of enjoyment, this zone, this high, not just in physically, but mentally, emotionally, and your entire experience of life. Now, there is one more level, this level 4 integrity, and I like to call this one throw your hat to the ring. This is an expression from the early 19th century. Does anybody know where this expression, throw your hat in the ring, came from? One man with a hat, two men with a hat. So this came from, in the early 19th century, if a man wanted to challenge another man, he would take off his hat and he would throw it into the boxing. And so when this hat hits the ring, there is no turning back. This is an external, time-bounded commitment of what you intend to take on or accomplish. Now, this happened for me when I registered for a run called the Tough Mudder. David's done the Tough Mudder. Who else has done Tough Muddering? You did it? What's your name, sir? Steve? Did you do Whistler? Pardon? Was it Whistler that you did? Okay, I heard that was an extra tough. They don't call it Tough Mudder. How was it for you? Pretty bad. Not too bad? The first one I did, it's changed a little bit. The first one I did, nobody had ever heard of it before, Steve. It was just an ad on the internet, and it said it was an 8-mile run. Now that was a lot. It was a lot more than 8 miles. This one, the first one I did was 14 miles, and they said it was going to be 8. They mentioned a lot of mud. They said it was based on British Special Forces. They said some other things, obstacles, like 16 obstacles. I don't remember, I don't think I read anything about the electric shocks they have in this thing, but that was in there. They have a thing called an Arctic enema, which they fill this thing full of ice. And you're going to jump in this thing and go underneath the partition. So David liked that one. Yeah. So I saw this online. I said, well, this looks like a good idea. And you don't just say you're going to do it. You have to actually put some money on the line to run this thing. And then you have to sign something. I put about $300-something US on this, and then I had to sign. I found out later this was a death waiver. Then I put it on, and then I announced it to all my friends. I would put it on social media. Look, I was committed. No matter what, I would show up to this run in 3 months, and I would run this thing. So what do you think happened to the workouts after I registered for this Tough Mudder? The workouts got much more interesting. They got more intentional. They got more focused. They didn't take over my life, but I had other health shifts. I let go of some health habits in my life that just weren't very good. I let go of some people in my life that were unhealthy. People who have been in my life for a very long time. And all of these things shifted because I knew that this beast of a run was coming up. I remember having a conversation with a friend of mine at the gym, and I said, yeah, I'm registered for this run. It's a lot of mud. It's barbed wire. I heard there may be some electric shock in there. He said, dude, I'm not ready for that. And I said, I'm not ready for that either, and that's why I registered. If you can get out of your comfort zone by making an external time-bounded commitment of what you intend to take on or accomplish, this can change the course of your life. You can do it in business. You can do it in relationships. You can do it. In fact, I'm actually getting married in a couple of weeks, talk about an external time-bounded commitment. You can do it in any area of life. If you want to set a record this year or reach a certain level and make it to CEO, or what are some of the other positions that you're striving for right now? What is it? SMD. SMD. So that's next for you. So if you want to reach
MD for SMD.
So what's next for you? MD. MD. So if you want to reach MD by a certain level, first you gotta declare it outside of you. You gotta say, look, I'm gonna hit this level by this period of time. Better yet, put some money on the line. Book yourself a celebration with a non-refundable deposit to the place that you and your family or you and your significant other will go when and only when you reach this level. If you want to do this in another area of your life, you can do this in any area of your life. You want to learn to play a musical instrument or perform in front of people, book an open mic night. See what happens as this date approaches. What happens to your practicing, your drilling, your rehearsing. When I wrote The Ripple Effect, this book, it started out just as an idea, started out as a blog, and it just kind of took a life of its own. But I remember reading online one of the great authors, written 50, 60 books, his name's Wayne Dyer. He said every time he writes a book, the way he throws his hat into the ring is he has his design team design the cover, and he sends it to the publisher, and then he has the cover in front of him for the book that hasn't yet been written. You want to be on that? No, now, of course, I called up my design team. Right? I did not have a design team or a publisher. All I did was I went online and I looked for a picture or something that represented a ripple. And I put it through my computer. I printed this thing out. I put my name on it. And I put Doug Grady, the ripple. That was it. I just stuck it in a notebook and I looked at it every day. Well, this worked fairly effectively for a while. And then the manuscript was dormant in my computer for a little bit. And my fiance now, at the time she was my girlfriend, she went into my computer without my knowledge. I think I might have actually brought this. I did. So she actually took the picture that I had on the computer. She took the manuscript without my knowledge from the computer, and she took it to a printer. She got this thing printed up with my words on the inside, and she put Douglas Grady, The Ripple Effect, New York Times best-selling author, over 250,000 copies sold. We haven't quite reached that yet, but that's a sign of things to come, right? And then on the back, she's got one simple choice can change the course of your life, which is the subtext of the book. She's got a testimonial there from Tony Robbins, from Jack Canfield, and from Allison Cusick. That's her. And she gave me this for Christmas, and I got to tell you, it was magical. I saw this thing, I saw the words, I'm like, wow, this kind of looks like a book. I saw the pictures in there, and within 30 days, I made the editing adjustments to make this actually completely into a book. I sent it to the publisher within 60 days. The first run of The Ripple Effect showed up at my home office. I'm not trying to impress you on how to write a book, unless you want to write a book. This is a great strategy to do it. What I'm trying to press upon you really is that if you're in this business long enough, you will reach a certain level. You'll reach a certain level of income, a certain level of management, if that's your goal. You'll reach this level sooner or what? Sooner or later. When you throw your hat in the ring, when you make an external, time-bound commitment of what you intend to take on or accomplish, you dramatically influence that time period of reaching that level sooner rather than later. Does that make sense? So consider these 4 levels of integrity and what you can take on. What one simple choice can you make that can change the course of your life right now? So I started with that question. I'm going to share with you some ways that you can do that, and I'm going to close with something kind of fun in honor of the tough mutters in here. So I'm going to share with you, I'm here in Vancouver you can probably tell I'm not from around these parts. I'm here in Vancouver from the States because April 24th, which is a Friday, we have an all-day personal and professional development event with 4 world-class speakers. You can help me get those around. You've heard from me today. My view of success and achievement has changed significantly through the years. I believe that it's not just about you, it's how do you show up for the people that you lead, that you love, that you serve, what kind of person are you becoming, and ultimately, are you fulfilling your God-given potential? So that's the focus of my talk here in Vancouver. Ruben Gonzalez is a 4-time Olympian. Talk about a guy that just has set some incredible goals and gotten them. He didn't even know what Olympic sport he would do. He just said, I want to be in the Olympics. And he figured out a way to do it. He became a loser. And he's been in the Olympics over 4 decades, most recently here in Vancouver. Laurel Langmeyer. Who in here has heard of Laurel Langmeyer, the billionaire maker? You all heard of The Secret, that movie?
Yeah.
She was in the movie The Secret. She is an expert in the area of wealth building strategies, sales strategies, business strategies. How do you build wealth and income? And then finally, David Alexander. This man literally wrote the book on networking. It's called Networking Like a Pro. Crow wrote this with Ivan Meisner. This book is all about how do you access your network, how do you build value for your network in such a way that your network becomes sales for you. They set you up with qualified prospects. They bring people into your business. That's the topic of this program. This man happens to be my business partner and the best I've ever seen in the area of network. Along with this, seminar is included on the other side. It's called 40 Days of Focus. This really puts into action what we've been speaking about thus far, is what one simple choice could you make that if you did it would have a significant impact on your life. For me, it was exercise. Other choices followed. Some people take on 10 minutes of quiet time, preparing each day in advance, reading 10 to 15 minutes a day. One simple choice. We've got two examples here. My friend Azaday actually lives here in Vancouver. She was the former number 18 CrossFit woman in the world for the CrossFit Games in 2012. She took on stretching, physical stretching. What she noticed, though, was a breakthrough not just in her body, but in her relationships. Found that flexibility in her relationships made a significant impact. She actually rekindled a relationship with her father that had been really strained for quite some time. Man you can certainly relate to, Bill Johnston. This man actually gave up something. He gave up coffee. Not coffee, he gave up caffeine for 40 days. And he said just the giving up of the coffee, the ripple, here's somebody like, no way. And by the way, nobody chooses for you. You get to make your own, but it's a personal choice. You decide what it is. That was his choice. But he said his ripple effect is he set a record for a 10-year-old financial services company for the quarter. He said the same integrity it took him to order a decaf latte showed up in his conversations, his follow-through, his prospecting, and his ability to encourage people to buy from him. So this is the promise of the program, really 4 of them. We promise you a breakthrough in your focus as defined by clarity in your choices and a more definite sense of purpose. We've never had more demand for our attention. Most of it comes from these so-called smart devices. And when you get focused on one specific thing that's important to you, you'll find more focus in every critical area of your life. Second thing is a breakthrough in personal integrity, as defined by you say X and X actually happens. This is why one choice can impact every area of your life. You pay attention to how integrity shows up, now you've got some power in every area of your life. You can pay attention to what gets in the way of your integrity. You know it gets in the way of every significant breakdown in your life. Third thing is a deeper understanding of you and how to create the results that you want to have in life. What this means is you will get results that would never happen otherwise. You'll be able to point to sales, be able to point to recruits that would not happen without doing 40 days of focus. And finally, a ripple effect in every significant area of your life. Life is very different for me now, and I'm not up here trying to tell you that how wonderful I am. All I'm trying to tell you is that when you get integrous, when you get committed in one area of your life, it gives you power in every area of your life because you see how commitment happens. You see how true power happens in your life and your ability to influence others. The way we do it, it's a 43-day online program. You get an email once a day. There's a video of the day. It's very short, 2 to 3 minutes for the ADD Society. There's an accountability link that says I did it yesterday. If you want to do it with some people in this group, that's a great thing to do as well. You go through, you reach on day 1, 2, 3, 4 at the same time. Every 10 days there's a little bit deeper dig to support you in paying attention to the impact of the choice. There's some other structures around it, and you'll also be encouraged to do some journaling and pay attention to what level of integrity you operated in that day. So this is included in the program. Because we're here in advance of the program and because of our relationship with WFG, you've got a couple incentives here. The most significant one, if people register online for this event, it's $600 US. We give you $209 off, so it's $390 to go to the seminar. 40 Days of Focus, which normally is $290 US by itself, this is completely included. Your entire investment for the program, for you to go to the seminar and be with us for a day, to invest a day with us, and to go through 40 Days of Focus is $390 in total. Now, I'm very familiar with your business. So here's the question. We promise you results with it. If it is conditional promise, you got to do your thing every day. You got to check in with that email every day. But if you do that, I promise you'll point to a result in this business you wouldn't have otherwise. What's one result in this business worth to you? What's one sale worth to you on average with WFG? What's one life app worth? Sure.
$2,000.
About $2,000. So if you knew you'd get at least $2,000 by investing $390 in a 40-day program plus an all-day experience, would you do it? Would that be a no-brainer? And here's the only way to know is what?
Try.
You got to make a commitment. You got to do it. So I've got one value added, and I'm going to close with something kind of fun. I'm going to ask Allison if she would like to say any words of encouragement. How many feel like this is something that would support you in being your best this year, helping you grow this year, personally and professionally? Good. So I'm going to ask Allison. She'll say a couple words of encouragement, and I'll close with something kind of fun.
Well, one of the things I forgot to mention in my introduction is that Doug works with some of the people that we know. Good friends with Jeff Levitin, Greg Capps. He's based in Atlanta, so very familiar with WFG. I feel that this would be, for me, a good add-on to ECC because we come to ECC, we get some very focused expertise on specifically our business, but this could help motivate me in terms of having that external accountability link. So sometimes it's easy to slide under the cover of our own roof. So I'm going to give this a try, and if anyone wants to join me, then that would be great in terms of having an accountability partner. I'm going to do it with Dave. He doesn't know that yet. She always says I have a flat mind. But I'm going to get some more like that. I have a personal commitment to hit SMB. I know some of the things I need to do to get there. I just have to pick which of those items I'm going to focus on, or calls, something physical. So, whatever you guys decide to do to grow your business, to grow yourself, I think you're in the best company at the best time. You have lots of opportunities to do it. Just do it.
Do it anyway.
Do it anyway.
So here's the value add. I'll pass around some enrollment forms. Take one of these only if you're intending to register. And just pass the rest up to me. Cross out the $5.99 for $3.90. Make sure you put WFG on there so we know why you got that rate. And here's the value add. How many of you believe that between now and April 24th, you could bring somebody onto your team that's not here with you yet? You think between now and April 24th, you get one person to join you. That's pretty easy, right? If you committed to it, could you get one person on your team between now and April 24th, a new person? How would it be to bring this person with you to the seminar completely for free? That's what we're going to give you, this value added. You can bring this person with you, a potential recruit or an actual recruit with you to the seminar at no additional investment. So you get 2 full access tickets. These are $5.99 tickets to the seminar, April 24th. If you register after today, it's the same price. It just costs you the ticket. So it's just to encourage you to step up to the plate and make the investment, to do it anyway. When that little voice inside your head says, yeah, I don't feel like it, I don't want to, probably not the best time, all that stuff. You can cut through all that stuff with those 3 words. Do you remember what they are?
Do it anyway.
Do it anyway. So I'm going to close in honor of our Tough Mudders today. I actually wrote the unofficial Tough Mudder song. For a while it was called the Tough Mudder song, and then I talked to one of their attorneys, and it's now called the unofficial Tough Mudder song. This is not about the Tough Mudders. I'm not a paid endorser of the Tough Mudders. This is about life. It's about, this thing changed my life. It changed my relationship to obstacles. It changed my relationship to what I looked at as stuff that was holding me back. When you're knee deep in a bunch of mud, you know that sooner or later, if you just keep moving, you're going to be out of it, and life can be a lot like that. So I'll close with this. You can be in a couple categories right now. You can know you want to plug in. Make sure you take some action today and get your tickets. You can know you don't want to go. That's okay. If you're somewhere in the middle, if you have a financial concern, you need to spread this over a couple months, I can help you with that. Don't let that hold you back. Make the commitment. We'll make it work. So I close with this. For you, Steve. It wasn't more than one Saturday as I began to make my way to do this thing they call the Tough Mudder. Well, I trained for it and I could hardly wait, but I guess I did not anticipate this was no ordinary run, my brother. We were crawling through mud and under barbed wire, jumping over walls, running through fire, swinging like monkeys, all kinds of crazy mile 3, I was better than Bruce. I had 5 pounds of butter rocks in my shoes. I guess that's why they call it butter tough. But I'm one tough mutter. I get it done. Ain't always pretty. Ain't always fun. I'm one tough mutter. I fight till the end. Life gets funny, I get tough, my friend. A little round my steps, my head got jacked as I slowed down. I thought about the fact there's a Marine running this thing with a prosthetic limb. So I thought the pain and I ran. And I said a prayer for that man. And all those wounded warriors just like him. He's one tough runner. And he got it. He fought for our country. We could have fun. He's one tough mutter. He fought to the end. Life got muddy, he got tough, my friend. We've been going 3 hours now. No looking back as this mile 12, man, I'm losing track, but I will finish this tough mutter for sure. So we walked the plank, we jumped in a lake, we swam 50 yards across to the bank, and there's just one more obstacle to go. Looking ahead, what do I see? The sign says electroshock therapy. We gotta get to these wires to get to the end of the run. I am telling you, man, you sure can move fast with 10,000 volts shocking your ass. We crossed that finish line. We got her done. It was one tough mutter, but we got it. It wasn't too pretty. Man, was it fun. It was one tough mutter. We fought to the end. Life got muddy, we got tough, my friend. See, life can be tough with its twists and turns. You just keep fighting. Through the bruises and burns, you gotta fall forward and get back up again. One tough mutter. Then you get it done. It ain't always pretty. Hey, it ain't always fun. You one tough mutter. You fight to the end. Life is tough. Get muddy, my friend.
Okay. That's it. So those of you heading into the LLCC boot camp, make your commitment to pass that exam. Thanks for recording.
Yeah. How do you record? Oh, you have to start the hangout as an event, and then you were trying to tell me that this morning, right? Yeah, so that's what I did it on yours, but I logged into my Gmail and then it's and then it'll save right onto my YouTube. But it'll be unlisted. Oh, wait. Yeah. So see you soon, honey.
So,
I'll call you. Are you at
pardon?
home?
I'm at home.
Okay. What are we doing next?
Hi.
Oh, boot camp. Okay, I'm gonna log